We are going to start with the same research problem and research process. Yes, so the first thing in research process that we are going to discuss is defining the research problem. Why do you wish to do research? What is the need of the research? What is the question that be helping you to frame the research process? Yes. Second important thing is review concept and theories or review the previous research findings. So for second important thing is once you've established that you want to do research on something, then you see for if there is some literature available, some books available, some articles available on it or not. The third process is formulating the hypothesis. Once you have gone through the review of literature, you know what I am thinking is something unique that needs to be researched. Now you move forward to formulating the hypothesis. Hypothesis is a statement, just a hypothetical statement that there will be a positive or there will be a no relation or negative relation with respect to what I'm going to research. Then comes designing the research, that is including the sample design, how you will select the samples, and there are various types of it. Then you collect the data, that is executing your complete research, analyze the result or analyze the data through the softwares that are available, as we have discussed, SPSS, Excel, and other softwares which help you to analyze the data. Once the data, you just need to enter it and provide the test which you want to perform. And last is interpret and report. So we have seen about defining the research problem. Yes, say for example, we had discussed long back, the same example will continue. What is effective in adhesive? It is mobilization or ultrasound. Yes, so what is effective? If you want available, but there is research available on ultrasound itself that it is effective, on Mulligan mobilization itself that it is effective, but as compared till now. So that is a research problem. Now you look into the concepts, you look into the theoretical part, how it is helping, what is the mechanism of helping in the research process. Third is formulating the hypothesis. So hypothesis is a hypothesis like this will be more effective than the other thing, or you can say this is more effective than Mulligan mobilization, or Mulligan mobilization is more effective than ultra. Yes, so that is hypothesis. Designing the research, that is now once you have decided, yes, I want to do this study, it is fixed, now I will do this. So you will decide how many samples need first of all. So according to something known as power formula, remember the term. Whenever you want to decide how many samples you will take in your study, that will depend on the power formula, and that itself depends on the population in which the condition that you want to study is prevalating. So prevalence of a condition, for example, stroke is present in 300 to 350, 300 to 350 individuals per 1 lakh population in India. Yes, so according to that, apply the power formula, you will have a specific sample design, sample size. Sample size મળી ગઈ કે say for example મારે 30 subjects લેવાના છે તો આ study effective રહેશે, or then I can apply to whole population. Yes, the purpose of design છે 60 people લીધા અને 600 people લીધા. Yes, 60 patients and 600 patients, result will be the same. Yes, so there is some specific minimum value, એક minimum value લેવી પડે, એને કહેવાય sample size. Yes, so that sample size is decided by the power formula. Once you have કે 60 patients લેવાના છે તો 60 patient કઈ રીતે લેશો? તમારી પાસે almost, if we say કે 60 stroke patient લેવાના છે, per lakh population stroke નું prevalence છે 300 to 350. તો તમારી પાસે કેટલા બધા ઓપ્શન છે, તો કઈ રીતે સિલેક્ટ કરશો એને, which patient to select and which not to select, that will depend on the sample design, what you will be deciding later on. Then on the intervention that you are performing, you are giving the intervention and later you are collecting the data, pre and post data, that is executing your research. After that, with the help of software, you will analyze the data, and last is interpretation and reporting of the data. So interpretation is ke khabar padi ke yes, our example of ultrasound and Mulligan mobilization. So Mulligan mobilization people will have less pain and more increase in range of motion compared to ultrasound. So this is the main conclusion that you give. Why does this happen? Because Mulligan mobilization corrects the accessory motions. Yes, so correcting the accessory motion with active movement Yes, so mobilization with movement, MWM, that is molecular mobilization. So that is how you will interpret and report. So we had seen the first two main stages, defining research problem, and second, how to review and how to find the literature, and also how to write the literature or references. Yes, so we had seen all this. First step was utmost clear to all. Second was review of literature. So what is available, we see through all of them. We conduct the survey. Sources will be books and journals, electronic bibliography, abstract, full text database, government reports, industry reports, internet, the biggest source, and research dissertation or thesis, which is available in the colleges, which is available in the universities. Recording, we saw about the card system. We took two cards, source card and note card. So in note card you will take notes, like say for example you saw an article in which it is written ultrasound is effective in this. Yes, so ultrasound is effective in this, you will write in note card. From where did you write it, name of the article and all, that is what you will write in source card. From where, source. Yes, that is source card. After that, we had seen one important thing, that is Vancouver style referencing. Yes, so how do we need to write, that is also important. Coming to the third part, part of it already had seen. So formulation of hypothesis. Hypothesis is an assumption about relation between variables. So is X related to Y, or is X more effective than Y, or they are not related at all, not negatively related. All these are hypotheses. Hypothesis can be defined as logically conjugated relationship between two or more variables expressed in the form of a testable statement. Excuse me. So it is something that we are going to test. Yes, તમે decide કરો કાઈ પણ કે this you have to see with relation to this. Now what is more effective, or is this related to this, X related to Y or not? These are all statements, yes, which can be proved. Yes, આ statement એવા છે જે logical છે and which can be proved. That is important. Relationships are conjugated on the basis of the network of association established in the theoretical framework formulated in research study. So if there is no research done on, first of all, ultrasound in adhesive capsulitis and molecular mobilization in adhesive capsulitis, then you should not perform direct comparison. First you have to be clear that this is effective already, hence we are comparing. Yes, so hypothesis is something that is forming a relation between something what is already proved. કાંઈક already proved છે ને બે વસ્તુને compare કરવી or જે relation રાખવું, that is hypothesis. There are variables, independent and dependent variables. We specifically defined them. Yes, anything that can vary can be considered as a variable. A variable is anything that take or differing or varying values. For example, age, production unit, absenteeism, gender, motivation, income, height, weight, all this can vary from person to person and even in a person from time to time. Yes, the values can differ at various times for the same object or at the same time for different objects. For height, say for example, my height right now is 172 centimeter. It was not the same thing before 6 months or before 2 years or before 5 years. So with time it is changing. Also, my height is 172, your height may be 175, 178, 180, 140, depending on the same time, different or person. Yes, so the values or the variables can be differing, changing from time to time for single person or for the same time different person. A variable is a characteristic that takes on two or more values together, whether the attribute is a specific value or a variable. It will be qualitative. For example, the gender has two attributes, male and female. The variable agreement has 5: strongly agree, neutral, strongly disagree. Yes, so depending on it, you want to know the quality, then more amount of variable is to be used. Yes, but you can also move the variables, that is qualitative data, into quantitative data by assigning variables. Say for example, I can assign male and female as 0 and 1. Yes, so if it is a male it is 0, if it is a female it is 1. Same thing can be done for the agreement of 5 attributes. Strongly agree 0, agree 1, neutral 2, disagree 3, and strongly disagree 4. Yes, so depending on that, I can make qualitative data move into quantitative data. Quality means something, a characteristic, yes, which is not measurable. Quantitative is something that is measurable. So I can move from qualitative data to quantitative data. Quantity, why it is important to move everything into quantity? Because then only you can apply formula. બધા formula, બધી ટેસ્ટ તમે તો જ અપ્લાય કરી શકો જો તમારી પાસે quantitative data હોય. Yes, hence it is important to convert the qualitative data into quantitative data. Yes, so types of variable we had already discussed. Explanatory versus extraneous, dependent versus independent. It is utmost important because we are using this terms dependent and independent variable in biomedical research utmost. Yes, you are also going through the online app. Yes, a Swayam app, and you are going through the online course. In that, the same things will be described when you are going for the biomedical research. Both the courses you have to do introduction to research and biomedical research. Yes, so in that, these terms dependent variable and independent variable will come again and again for you. So it is important to know variable that changes the relationship to changes to other variable which depends on other variable is dependent variable, and the variable whose change result in the change in another variable, so which does not depend on the other variable, that is independent variable. Or an independent variable is the one that influences the dependent variable in either a positive or a negative way. So effect of Bobath approach on stroke rehabilitation, on pain and functional recovery in stroke rehabilitation. So here, what will be dependent on what will be independent? Let me know. Bobath approach is dependent or independent? Yes, Bobath approach will be dependent or independent. The title is effect of Bobath approach on pain and functional recovery in stroke patients. So Bobath approach is independent variable or dependent variable?
Sir, can you just repeat again the definition of independent and dependent?
See, okay, fine. Once a variable has effect on other variable, yes, that is independent variable, and the one that is having effect on it because of another variable, that is dependent variable. Variable that changes in relation to change in another variable is called dependent variable. The variable whose change result in the change of another variable is called independent variable. એટલે simply if we say કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ તમને ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ કરશે, યસ, તો એ વસ્તુ ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ છે, તમને ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ કર્યા એટલે તમે ડિપેન્ડન્ટ ઉપર. Yes, so what is dependent and what is independent? Independent means all the therapies that you are going to apply, may that be in form of electrotherapy, may that be exercise therapy, may that be any concept, say for example PNF or Bobath or any approach. Yes, that all will be independent variables. Here out measures, yes, pain che, range of motion che, any scale that you are taking, modified Ashworth scale, spasticity, XYZ, all will be dependent variables. Yes, so effect of Mulligan mobilization on range of motion in adhesive capsulitis. Yes, so here independent variable is something that you are applying, that is Mulligan mobilization. Effect on range of motion, that is dependent variable, because Mulligan mobilization will change dependent variable, એટલે કે range of motion ને change કરશે. So that is an example of dependent variable, range of motion, whereas Mulligan mobilization is independent variable. Yes, okay. I'll give you one more example. You let me know what is dependent, what is independent. Effect of virtual reality rehabilitation in balance and coordination improvement in stroke patient. What is independent variable here?
Balance and coordination.
No, that is dependent. Independent means
Yes, sir.
the features you are applying. Yes, so virtual reality based rehabilitation, that is independent. એ તમે કોઈને કરી શકો. Yes, no need to go only for stroke patient, you can apply in all patients. Yes, but the outcome that you have taken, that is balance and coordination, that is dependent variable. Clear? Everyone clear
Yes,
about
sir.
this?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
because whenever you will
Yes,
form,
sir.
જ્યારે પણ તમે title બનાવશો ને study નું, એમાં dependent independent variable compulsorily you should mention. Yes, what you are going to perform in the 8th semester, compulsorily when you are forming the title, there should be independent and dependent variable. Yes, also the population and the type of study. So 4 things are utmost important. So we'll see about those in a bit detail. Hypothesis is a predictive statement that relates an independent variable to a dependent variable. Yes, independent and a dependent variable ne compare, that is hypothesis. Hypothesis must contain at least one independent variable and one dependent variable. Again, title માં જેમ વાત કરી આપણે, in the title of the study all should be one independent, one dependent variable. Same thing in hypothesis, there should be one independent and one dependent variable. Hypotheses are tentative, intelligent guess as to the solution of the problem. Hypothesis is a statement of prediction. It describes in concrete terms what you expect to happen in the study. Yes, whenever you are saying that effect of virtual reality based rehabilitation on balance and coordination in stroke patient. Yes, so what will be your hypothesis? That virtual reality will be effective in improving the balance, virtual reality will be effective in improving the coordination, virtual reality will not be effective in improving the coordination, virtual reality will not be effective in improving the balance in individual with stroke. ચાર વસ્તુ, આ ચારે ચાર હાઇપોથેસિસ છે. યસ, સો ટેન્ટેટિવ, આમાંથી ગમે તે પ્રૂવ થઈ શકે. Intelligent guess, because from the title આપણે જે કરવા જઈએ છીએ, defining the problem, that itself is giving us hypothesis. It is specific statement of prediction, will be effective, future tense. Yes, will be effective, will not be effective. It describes in concrete terms what you expect to happen in the study. એટલે આ ચારમાંથી કોઈ એક or કોઈ બે જ વસ્તુ પ્રૂવ થશે. Yes, we are very much sure આમાંથી બે વસ્તુ કે એક વસ્તુ તો પ્રૂવ થશે, depending on how much variable. Hypothesis is an assumption of the population of the study. It delimits the area of research and keeps the researcher on the right track. તો હવે તમને કહું કે વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટી બેઝ રિહેબિલિટેશન આપણે લઈએ છીએ અને હું તમને મશીન આપી દઉં, પેશન્ટ આપી દઉં, બધું કરીએ, પણ તમને લાગે કે ના આમાં ફ્યુગલ મેયર સ્કેલ પણ લેવા જેવી છે in stroke patients. Yes, so now you are adding a new outcome that is not allowed. Once you have decided the study, it will limit in those areas. તમારે balance and coordination જ check કરવાનું છે, not whole Fugel Mayer scale. Yes, so that also hypothesis will limit your area on and keep you on the right. Problem versus hypothesis. So hypothesis is an assumption that can be tested or can be proved to be right or wrong. આપણે statement જે બનાવ્યા કે virtual reality stroke માં બેલેન્સ ઇમ્પ્રૂવ કરે છે કે નથી કરતું, કોર્ડિનેશન ઇમ્પ્રૂવ કરે છે કે નથી કરતું. તો આ ચારમાંથી એક અઝમ છે, એક કે બે વસ્તુ આમાંથી પ્રૂવ થશે 100%. Problem is a question which cannot be directly tested. Yes, આપણી પ્રોબ્લેમ શું હતી કે વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટીની ઇફેક્ટ છે કે નહીં બેલેન્સ અને કોર્ડિનેશન ઉપર. Yes, that was the problem from which we developed the hypothesis. પ્રોબ્લેમ આપણે પ્રૂવ ના કરી શકીએ, હાઇપોથેસિસ આપણે પ્રૂવ કરી શકીએ. Problem can be scientifically investigated after converting into the form of hypothesis. Problem માંથી જ hypothesis આવશે, પણ hypothesis prove થાય, problem prove ના થાય. That is the only difference. Characteristic, it should be conceptually clear, it should be very specific, it should be consistent, it should be testable, and expectancy, that is it can be stated the expected relation between the variables, that is it is effective, not effective, linked, not linked. Yes, so the characteristics of a hypothesis. Simplicity, objectivity, theoretical relevance, and availability of the technique. You should be able to do it. It should be statistically possible, and it should be very simple and objective directed. Objective directed એટલે ઈ જ વસ્તુ ઉપર ધ્યાન નહીં કરવાનું. Yes, without any other judgments. Source of hypothesis. So how do you find સોર્સ તમને ક્યાંથી ખબર પડે કે આ બનાવવાનું? આ તો I have some experience in publishing articles, I have seen articles, I have read books, then I know how to form a hypothesis. But how we know? So first is discussion with the colleague and expert about a problem. Second, examination of data and record for possible trend or peculiarities from the research that has already been done. Yes, so you see similar studies which have done and you take hypothesis from them, modify them and use them. Exploratory personal investigative observation, you observe it yourself and try to make a new hypothesis. Logical deduction from the existing theory, continuity of a research from previous researchers, and intuition or personal experience. So your even personal experience will help you find the hypothesis. Forming an hypothesis is no big deal. It is a simple process, yes, but forming it right is very essential. Yes, છે simple, પણ જો hypothesis તમે wrong બનાવશો તમારું research આખું direction માં જશે. If it is going in a different direction, you are not serving the purpose of your problem. Yes, problem માંથી જ hypothesis બનાવવાનું અને hypothesis કરવાનું. That is main purpose of hypothesis. Coming to types of hypothesis, first is descriptive. These are assumptions that describe the characteristics such as size, form of distribution of a variable. The variable may be an object, person, organization, situation, or event. Public enterprise are more able for centralized planning. So these are assumptions that describe the characteristic of a variable. So say for example, the effect or in stroke patients, we see synergy patterns. Yes, so how much do we see? That is descriptive hypothesis. How many patients will have synergy, or to find the prevalence of stroke with synergy. Yes, that is descriptive hypothesis. Second, relational, that is explanatory hypothesis. That is, there are assumptions that describe the relation to variable. બે variable વચ્ચે એક relation આપશે. The relation suggests maybe positive, negative or casual. Families with higher income spend more for recreation. Yes, so the family income of few individuals is more compared to others. So on recreational activities, on leisure activities, they are spending more compared to others. So is it not true, or is it there is no relation between income and recreational activities? Yes, so that is what relational hypothesis. का positive relation હશે, का negative relation હશે, and का no relation હશે. Casual hypothesis states that the existence of or change in one variable causes or leads to an effect on another variable. First variable is called independent and later is dependent. Yes, you can always remember this. ક્યાંય પણ એવું તમે વાંચો ને, effect of x on y. Yes, that means x is independent because it is first, y is dependent. Yes, so first variable is independent, second variable is dependent. Simple terms. Yes, so that is casual hypothesis. Coming to null hypothesis, when a hypothesis is stated negatively, it is called null hypothesis. No difference, no relation. So virtual reality is not effective in improving balance, or virtual reality is not effective in improving coordination in individual with stroke. That is termed as null hypothesis. That is no relation. Yes, it is usually represented as H0. You remember this, H0. H0, there is no relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation. Same thing, same example we gave for virtual reality balance, virtual reality coordination. No relation. Alternate hypothesis, that is, there is relation. Yes, it is hypothesis that describe the researcher's prediction that there exists a relationship between variables, or it is opposite of null hypothesis. So virtual reality is effective in improving balance, virtual reality is effective in improving coordination in patients with stroke. Yes, so this is alternate hypothesis. This is represented as H1. H1. There is definite relationship between family's income and expenditure on recreation. Okay, till here I guess we had already discussed. Coming to forms of relation, non-directional versus directional. Non-directional means there is a relationship between x and y. So x is linked with y. So virtual reality is linked with balance, and virtual reality is linked with you can say coordination. Yes, in patients with stroke. So that is non-directional. What is directional? If x goes up, y also increases or decreases. Yes, એટલે કે હું જો વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટી વધારે આપું તો શું વધારે ઇમ્પ્રુવ થશે, ઓર વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટી ઓછું આપું તો બેનું ઓછું ઇમ્પ્રુવ થશે. યસ, ધેટ ઇઝ ડિરેક્શનલ રિલેશનશિપ. એટલે વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટીની પોઝિટિવ ઇફેક્ટ છે એની ઉપર, પણ કેટલી ઈ વધે, વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટી ડ્યુરેશન વધારું તો વધે જ રાખશે, બેલેન્સ ઇમ્પ્રુવ થતે જ રાખશે. ઓર it may be the same for the coordination. Yes, so you can say age is related to height of an individual, that is non-directional, but with age improvement height also increases, so that is directional improvement or directional relationship. Yes, non-directional એટલે કે x ને y linked છે એટલી ખબર છે. Yes, એટલે x વધશે તો y કા વધશે કા ઘટશે. Yes, so you can say it is completely relational, correlational. Yes, so x increases, y, that is may increase or decrease. X is independent variable, y is dependent variable. Yes, this is important. Oftentimes we try to study, in physiotherapy specifically talking, we try to study the effect that is non-directional, એટલે કે effect X therapy on Y variable outcome measure. Yes, so that is non-directional. But whenever we try to find correlation, yes, whenever we try to find who early mobilization apu, so early prognosis, better prognosis will be there. So that is directional. Yes, or correlating two factors. Say for example, for spasticity you have two scales, modified Ashworth scale, modified Tardieu scale, and you want to see if modified Ashworth scale also increases, modified Ashworth scale increases, so modified Tardieu scale also increases or decreases. Yes, so this is directional variation or directional relationships. Yes, I guess everyone is getting it. Yes or no, please reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, directional hypothesis: if x change increases or decreases, then y will increase or decrease, a causal link. Yes, normal, what we discussed, x change thase to y પણ change થશે, પણ increase થશે તો y increase કા decrease થવું જ જોઈએ. Yes, that is main directional hypothesis. If x increases and y increases, then it is termed as a positive relation. એટલે age વધે ને height પણ વધે તો એ positive relation કહેવાય. Yes, if x increases and y decreases, it is a negative or inverse relation. Yes, force is inversely related to area on which it is acting. Yes, square of the area on which it is acting, say for example. Then if force is increased, the area on which it is acting is decreased. Yes, so that is a negative or inverse relation. If x changes, y does not change, there is no relationship. Yes, so two important terms, it may be positive or a negative. Negative is also termed as inverse relationship. Non-directional hypothesis, yes, or we can say no directional hypothesis is a relation between x and y, non-causal correlational statement. Effect of x on y directly, nothing else. Yes, with increase it will increase, with decrease it will decrease, or opposite, it is not needed. That is non-directional, the weakest form. Correlational relation, yes, as we were discussing, correlate કરવું કોઈને, બે વેરિયેબલ્સ છે તમારી પાસે, એને ટ્રાય કરવું કે આ બે વચ્ચે લિંક છે કે નહીં. When the variables of two variable go together, the values of xi change in same direction. Yes, you can see if HR works more, there is more earning, or you can say if a student studies more, there are more marks achieved. Yes, same is a positive correlation. This can be proved. If you study for, say for example, 1 hour per day, and if you study for 4 hours per day, then of course when you are studying 4 hours per day, there might be small increment in your marks over time. Yes, so this is a positive correlation. There can also be negative correlation when the values of two variable co-vary in opposite direction. So HR works and earnings, the same example, or you can take example of a student using a mobile and effects of marks. Yes, so if you use mobile more, the marks will start depleting. Yes, so that is also an example of negative correlation. Yes, function of role of hypothesis. Why are we so emphasizing so much on hypothesis? આની શું જરૂર છે આટલી બધી? It gives a definite point of investigation, provide direction to the study. Already we saw the purpose. Determines the data needs. કયા ડેટા આપણે જોઈ છે, એટલે બેલેન્સ અને કોઓર્ડિનેશન વર્ચ્યુઅલ રિયાલિટી વાળું આપણે એક્ઝામ્પલ ડિસ્કસ કરતા હતા. સેમ થિંગ, if we want to take data, yes, તો આપણે કયો ડેટા લેવાનો? બેલેન્સ અને કોઓર્ડિનેશન, બીજું કંઈ જ નહીં. So it will determine the data we need for our study. Specify the source of data. From whom? From stroke patient only. Yes, we have specified that in hypothesis. Suggest which type of research is likely to be more appropriate. It will tell you. So it will be a comparative study, it will be an interventional study, it will determine the type of study. Determines the most appropriate technique of analysis. Depending on what type of study you are doing, it will tell you also the analysis technique. So you can say it will determine the test you are going to apply. Say for example, Z test, T test, ANOVA test. All this test will be determined by the hypothesis. And last, it contributes to the development of theory. It also tell you what you need to discuss later on in the research. Okay, I'll just show you one important thing. Just hold on, I need to find it. Okay. So as I was telling you, correlational study. Yes. So this is an article, a study to correlate modified. There are two important terms here: modified Ashworth scale and modified Tardieu scale with H reflex to assess plantar flexor spasticity in chronic post-stroke patient. It is an observational study. So here there are no dependent variables. All are independent variables. Yes. Why? Because it is correlational type of study. હું બે વસ્તુને relate કરવા માંગુ છું, or the author is trying to relate two important variables. So first is modified Ashworth scale, which is also termed as MMAS. Yes, you have learnt about modified Ashworth. There is a version that is also modified Ashworth scale, and the discussion about modified Tardieu scale. We want to see which is more effective in checking of plantar flexor spasticity in chronic post-stroke patient. Yes, so this is the problem, which is more effective. That is the main problem. Now here there will be no such specific objective for this will be effective on this will be effective on this. We just need to see what is more effective. So hypothesis, see the terms used: null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis or experimental hypothesis. So null hypothesis is modified Tardieu scale is correlated to HM ratio in assessing plantar flexor spasticity, and experimental hypothesis, modified Ashworth scale is more effective. Similarly, if I can show you, okay. Okay, this is a systemic review. I don't think it is needed for now. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. Okay, So here you can see a study to find the effect of comprehensive directed breathing on exertional dyspnea into moderate chronic obstructive pulmonary disease patients. Yes, so can anyone tell me what is independent variable first? From the title, what is independent variable? From here, title, what is dependent and what is independent variable?
Sir, in this, the
Yes.
comprehensive directed breathing will be independent, and on exertional dyspnea on obstructive pulmonary disease will be dependent.
Yes, okay. So, obstructive pulmonary disease patient is population. It will not be part of variable, but otherwise, yes, it is completely true. Comprehensive directed breathing, yes, which is a technique of breathing exercise, will be independent variable, and exertional dyspnea will be dependent variable. Yes. So, about this, you always have to remember in a title of the study there will be a dependent variable exertional dyspnea, independent variable comprehensive directed breathing, population that is patient chronic obstructive pulmonary disease patient, and type of study that is interventional study. Now I do not remember if I had written a hypothesis or not in this. Yeah, so see the experimental hypothesis, that is alternate hypothesis. There is a significant difference in the effect of comprehensive directed breathing and traditional diaphragmatic breathing on exertional dyspnea. And null hypothesis, there is no significant difference in the effect of comprehensive directed breathing and traditional diaphragmatic breathing on exertional dyspnea. Yes, null hypothesis matlab koi જ effect નથી. Yes, and alternative or experimental hypothesis means there is a positive effect of whichever technique you are going to